So, I guess I kind of just want to do like a mental health awareness video because on Facebook recently I have been seeing a lot of people, like people I'm friends with, people I know, and like comments that people have on pages I like about how mental illnesses aren't a real thing and that they're made up and it's just our way of quote unquote being pussies and bitches. And I kind of just like want to get my point across because I'm really tired of seeing it, because I don't think it's fair to people that struggle with these to have to think that what they have isn't real because someone doesn't believe it's real. And so kind of on that note, anxiety is a real thing. It actually happens in your brain. And like people really do struggle with anxiety. Like I personally do. And yeah, it's rough, but it's something you learn to live with. Panic attacks, I don't have them very often, but I used to have them a lot when I was in middle school kind of thing. And I mean, I do now, and I do get a lot of anxiety when it comes to like hanging out with people. Like people that I've been best friends with for years, I had a hard time hanging out with this summer because of my anxiety. And it's like little things can set it off, and it really sucks, and it's really there, and it's something that people struggle with every day. And so is depression. Like that's not just someone's way of, oh, you're sad and you want attention. Like people really struggle with that, and they can't find happiness, and they feel hopeless, and makes them contemplate, like, is their life even really worth living? And like for people to go and say that it's not a real thing and they're just being sad for no reason and that they don't appreciate their life, that's really not what it is. People with depression don't not appreciate their life, they just feel like they don't belong, and they get really upset, and they just get really sad, and it's like it's not cool. And like anything can bring this. Like you don't have to go through something traumatic in order to like cause this. It can just happen. You can be born with it, and just it develops over time, and it literally can make you like not happy at all. And it really sucks that people think that they need to tear other people down about it and like, oh yeah, it's not real, you're just sad and you want attention. And there is so many untreated cases, like people that don't want to go to the doctor for it because they're scared, and there's people that don't want to seek help for it. Like, and for people to bash on them and tell them, oh, you're not getting help, so it's not real, that's not true. It's so hard to get help. You have to accept your illness first before you can get help. Like you can't just one day decide, like you don't just decide like, oh, I have depression, I want to get help. It's really hard to talk to someone when you've got mental illnesses like bipolar disorder, PTSD, and stuff like that. Like I've seen people around me be crippled by these things, and I've seen people belittle them and tell them all these mean things, and I've personally been bullied, and it really has an effect on you as a person. Like it really hurts, and it cuts deep. And they say, like studies say, that every teen in America should be tested for mental illness because there's so many untreated cases, and it's more common now. Like I don't know, back when my dad was a kid, it wasn't really a thing. Like bullying wasn't taken so serious. Like kids will be kids, they'll pick on each other kind of thing. But and mental illness wasn't really that big of a thing then either. But that's because a lot of people like don't want to talk about it. They don't want to go get help. They just like and some people don't even know they have it. They just feel really worthless and don't even know. And like disorders also, like hair picking disorders, skin picking disorders, those are real things also. Like they are real. Or like having a shy bladder, like people tell it's in your head, yeah, but it's actually real. Like I have really shy bladder. I rip out my hair sometimes. I scratch myself sometimes, and I can't help it. And it's just something I live with, and like I wouldn't really consider myself as one of the people with it severely. But freshman year, I did have a bald spot from ripping out my hair, and like I've got friends that have hair pulling disorders and skin picking disorders, and I've had people Like, I know people who've said rude things about them, and like they don't realize that it really hurts those people. And then I've had rumors started about me for being friends with those people, and honestly, I'm just really fed up. I'm so fed up with people thinking that they can treat everybody around them like shit and say like, "Oh yeah, you've got a mental like illness. Oh, it's not real. Oh, you have anxiety. Oh, it's not real. You don't really have it. You're just a baby." Like, it's real. And so, yeah. I guess that's it. I just really wanted to get my point across because I think it's bull that people are gonna sit there and tell people what's real and what's not. And that's like saying that you have a broken bone, but because I can't see it, it's not actually there and it's not actually hurting you, but it actually does really, it hurts you. And just because you don't understand someone's like mental problems doesn't mean it's not real, and it gives you no reason at all to tell that person that it's not real, because all you're doing is making them feel like shit, and that's not true at all. What they have is real and what they feel is real. So, yeah, that's all I have to say.